14,000. We look now into the serious face of Rick Johnson. Jeff Stanton winks to the camera. John van der Berg, Jeff Matiasevich, Damon Bradshaw, Yves de Maria, and Mike Kudrowski.
It's their last chance for glory. Tonight is the last chance to go away a Paris winner.
And finally, Jean-Michel Bale, Edwin Evertson, the young Dutchman who's qualified for the final. 30-second board is out.
Board will spin round and show the riders the 5-second board. At that point it'll be clutches in and bikes in gear. Half throttle, the gate will drop there away into that first corner, and who will it be that will emerge in the lead? Looks again like De Maria has taken the whole shot, and he has, Rob.
And also another fast starter, number 5, John van der Berg in second place. And Matiasevich is up there at the moment. We've not heard a lot about Jeff the Chicken Matiasevich so far in these Bertie finals, but he looks now to have moved into second place.
De Maria sneaks a quick look over his shoulder and kicks the back end of that yam out over that first set of jumps for the crowd. And look at De Maria beginning to pull a gap, and is it Bradshaw there moving up into second spot?
Yes, it looks like Bradshaw's got the better of Matiasevich. He leaps past him. De Maria though still leads, the French crowd going crazy. Here comes Matiasevich second, Bradshaw third. Fourth place, number 2, Jeff Lees. Dropping back to 5th place now, John van der Berg.
So Matiasevich now looks to have moved up a position.
Number 20 on the Kawasaki. Crosses the stutter bumps one more time, but riding his wheel tracks, number 8, Damon Bradshaw. These two riders have been side by side all year long in the 125 Supercross series.
And we just caught a glimpse there of the back wheel of De Maria's Yamaha as he threw it out sideways for the crowd. This guy really is showing off to this Parisian-French crowd.
One of the things we just missed at the start there was the position of Rick Johnson. He was dead last at the start, so Johnson's got it all to do in this final night's racing.
So De Maria leads from Jeff the Chicken Matiasevich. Bradshaw behind Matiasevich in third. It's anybody's race at the moment.
A lot of people are probably wondering where Jeff Matiasevich got his name from, the Chicken. Apparently it's because he's not afraid to jump anything. He's one of the first riders in the States to have a go at an unsafe triple jump.
I'm not sure whether that's always the best thing, Rob, to be the hero, as they say.
But look at the hero of this Parisian crowd, Yves de Maria, leading the 4th night's racing. Bradshaw still third, looking menacing. Bradshaw looks to have a faster line down the inside of the whoops there than Matiasevich.
Once again, Rob, we saw an example of De Maria throwing the bike sideways in the air for the crowd. He really is enjoying himself out there. And look at Matiasevich! Almost careers off the side of De Maria's Yamaha, but he hangs on and stays there in second spot.
So these three closing up all the time. Bradshaw tries to take the wide slingshot round the outside. He's going to go for that inside line now on the whoops. Can he get past Matiasevich? Bradshaw's on the inside and he loses control! And he takes Matiasevich really into the sidewall there, and that is a solid steel wall. And look at Matiasevich, he looks out of it. Meanwhile, no problems for the leader, number 9, De Maria. But I don't think Damon Bradshaw and Matiasevich are going to be seeing any more racing tonight.
Bradshaw totally torpedoed Matiasevich. I think it was more a question of he got out of control over that last set of whoops, and the throttle must have jammed flat out because he totally wiped out Matiasevich into that wall.
It'll be interesting to see that one on the slow motion replays at the end of this race. But look now, John van der Berg coming under pressure from Jeff Stanton and Mike Kudrowski. Kudrowski looks to have got the inside line on Jeff Stanton, so Kudrowski moving up a place.
Van der Berg just moved over there and let Kudrowski through.
And it's our leader, and De Maria is down. He's trying to retrieve his bike from off the bales. But up into the lead now, Jeff Lees, number 2.
There's De Maria mounted back on the Yamaha. I should say that he's fairly well out of the running now in this final night.
We've seen number 8, Damon Bradshaw. He's back on the bike and circulating, but he's not up to race speed. And it looks like Larry Ward, number 17 on the Suzuki there. Looks like he's blown an oil seal on the engine and it's sucking in a lot of oil. The whole backside of the stadium is covered in smoke.
Larry Ward's decided to start his own firework display. That's a Suzuki, I should imagine, Rob, with those, as you say, a seal or a hole in the piston or a ring broken. But that's Ward out for tonight.
Back with our leader, though, it's still number 2, Jeff Lees, 25-year-old Australian, Mr. Motocross himself. He's leading from Mike Kudrowski, the American youngster from Canyon County in California.
Shot there of Jean-Michel Bale as he tries to make his way back through the field.
And let's keep our eye now on number 13, Rick Johnson. Remember, he was dead last at the start. Johnson's now coming up behind Jean-Michel Bale. Jean-Michel Bale across the stutter bumps. He's chasing hard after number 1, Jeff Stanton. Stanton's now trying to find a way around Kudrowski and Lees.
So there's a chance there yet for Stanton or even Bale to snatch this one before the finish. But it is Lees, Mr. Motocross, leading this final night at the Bercy Paris Supercross at this particular moment with the number 11 Honda of Mike Kudrowski in second slot.
And if Lees remains in this first position, it's going to be a record. It'll be the first time a non-American has ever won a final night here at Paris.
This is certainly some changes here at Paris this year. We've seen 2 youngsters win finals, and at the moment we've got an Australian winning this final, but we've got 2 Americans closing down on him, number 11 Mike Kudrowski and the number 1 machine of Jeff Stanton.
Stanton's looking menacing. He's trying to find a way around Kudrowski. They come through the smoke at the far end of the stadium. Lee still leads. Kudrowski second, Stanton third. Jean-Michel Bale lurking back there in 4th place, and in 5th position, Ricky Johnson.
This looks more like a Honda benefit right at this moment. Honda's 1, 2, 3 and 4, and Stanton's gone.
Stanton gets it completely wrong across the whoops, drops the front wheel into one of them and pitched completely over the handlebars. Luckily the bike landed on the straw bales and away from his body.
So that's Stanton out. It's now up to this man, number 2, Mr. Motocross from Australia, Jeff Lees, to fly the flag. There's the American in second place, number 11, Mike Kudrowski.
But look at the crowd getting behind the 3rd place rider, Jean-Michel Bale. They're pushing him. They realise he's only got this last night to try and win a final here.
Bale has not yet managed it in the last 2 years. As you say, Rob, this is his last opportunity to please the Parisian fans.
And Rick Johnson is up there in the frame. He's right behind him now. So Johnson's come from last to 4th position. A brilliant ride for the 25-year-old from El Cajon.
Certainly hasn't been Johnson's year this year for wins at Paris.
If Johnson finishes further up, if he gets up into 2nd position, he could still take this overall victory here, be the king of Bercy 1989. And Lees still leads. Mike Kudrowski all over the rear mudguard of that Honda.
Kudrowski looking for a way round, tries the inside.
Lees shuts the door on him, says you're not coming through here. Lees is blocking his every move at the moment. He's looking comfortable in the lead. And look at Rick Johnson closing down on Jean-Michel Bale. The 2 established crowd favourites here in Paris, battling it out for 3rd place.
There's the marshals cheering on their local favourite, Jean-Michel Bale. Come on, they're saying, this is your last opportunity to be a winner.
The jump across the starting gate, over the camel jump. Just a few laps now remaining. Over the stutter bumps. And Johnson still looking menacing there in 4th place, starting to style it a little. Ricky Johnson, unaccustomed to being in 4th place, is normally well out in the lead. But that leading position at the moment still belongs to number 2, Jeff Lees.
As it's been said by many a commentator, that if Johnson's not in front, you can guarantee he is right behind you. And that's what Jean-Michel Bale must know right about now. Here comes Johnson. It's still Lees, the Australian, that leads. from Kidwowski, the American, in second spot. The Frenchman, Jean-Michel Bell, 1:11, there in third spot. And it's Rick Johnson in fourth position. We've lost Stanton.
Yes, in fact, Kidrowski still looks the threat. He's still riding strongly in second place. He's not letting Least off the hook just yet. But Bale's picking up the pace. He's trying to reel in the leading pair. Across the whoops, bounces out of them, up over the tabletop.
You can see the French crowd there hanging over the barriers, cheering on Jean-Michel. Come on!
You hear the marshals waving their flags. They're getting behind him.
The atmosphere hots up here in the Bercy Stadium on this last night. Second place man, Kidrowski, still laying siege to Leake's back door, and there's Bale through on the inside. Has he made it? No, not yet, and the crowd are going bananas.
Bale almost got a wheel in front then on Kidrowski. Tries the inside of the whoops. Couldn't quite manage a pass there. And look at Rick Johnson in that fourth position. He's closing up all the time as well.
It's the danger man at the moment. Kidrowski and Bale, they'll be so intent on each other, they'll forget about Johnson, and there he is. Johnson does it.
Johnson moves through a brilliant pass up into second place as the two-lap board comes out. Just cuts upon the inside. Really, Kidrowski and Bale were battling amongst themselves, and I don't think they realised Johnson was there, and the master tactician himself took advantage of a slip by the pair of them and moves into second place. The big question on everybody's lips is now, can he reel in Jeff Least with 2 laps remaining?
I think we may well see Johnson use that tactic in the final stages of this final to maybe get past Least. That was a superb piece of track. Just look at him.
And Jean-Michel Bale tries the same move on Kidrowski.
Has none of it. Kidrowski shuts the door.
Bale's got the advantage, takes Kidrowski to the outside. So Bale now up into third position. That pleases the French crowd. Least now coming under intense pressure from Johnson. 1 lap remaining.
Least knows he's there. He can hear the crowd screaming. He knows that there's somebody on his back door and somebody who's coming on strong. And it's Johnson. Now let's watch again on that left-hander as he tries. He tried again, and has he got it? Has he got it? No, the back end slips out. It's a win then for Least, and he's ecstatic.
And Jean-Michel Bale finishes third. Least, as we say, just edging out Ricky Johnson. Fourth place, Mike Kidrowski. What a fantastic race that was. Least punching the air in delight. First ever non-American to win a Supercross race here in Paris.
So a year of records with young 17-year-old Bradshaw winning a final. Now we've got an Australian winning a final. This is a Paris to remember for sure.
We look at slow motion action. Least across the whoops. Here comes Stanton. And look at him. Legs off the bike, straight over the top. Lands in front of the machine, but luckily the bike bounced over the straw bales and out of harm's way.
Very resilient rear fender on that Honda as it landed.
And here looks to have a rerun of the Bradshaw Matiasevich incident. Watch Bradshaw on the inside. Hits that last whoop and just lands with the throttle pinned on the Yamaha and totally centre punches Jeff Matiasevich. Matiasevich hits that solid steel wall really hard. He's got to be hurting.
It's one of the most painful crashes I've seen for some time. I'm sure Matiasevich will not be thanking Bradshaw for that. Anyway, Rob, that's an interesting final for the last one of this 89 Paris Supercross.
Certainly was. And I think one of the major surprises of that race was the performance of Ricky Johnson. We see him there, number 13, in dead last position from the start. He had it all to do and fought his way up and almost sneaked a victory from Jeff Least.
That just goes to prove the calibre of this man, even though still suffering, I think, slightly from the effects of that wrist that he broke last year. There we see a shot of airborne Least, the Australian, for the first time ever, say, a non-American winning a final here at the Paris Supercross. And I think congratulations definitely must go out to Jeff for that tremendous achievement.
We look here at our earlier leader, Yves Demarié, who must now be one of the crowd's favourites. Led most of his races and 2 finals, but couldn't come up with the goods at the checkered flag.